you get to the big leagues pretty quickly, win Rookie of the Year, and from there the career was off and running. 19 All-Stars, as I mentioned off the top, consecutive, which is unbelievable, which is a great streak in its own right. But your streak, 2,632 games, started pretty quickly in your career and went for a long, long time. Cal, how the hell did you play so many games in a row?
I never set out to do it. Most people think that I was obsessed with being in the lineup every day, but I would have. I'll trade that out for more hits than Pete Rose or more home runs than Hank Aaron. I just wanted to play, and I wanted to keep getting better. And you didn't know how good you were going to be. So when I think of the streak, the managers are the ones that made the lineup out. Earl Weaver penciled me in for 160 of the first 162 games. I missed a couple games in April because I was struggling. But from that point on, the managers kept writing my name in the lineup, and I just kept playing. So I don't know if there's a secret per se. I had really good genes. I healed really quickly. Sometimes you get hit with a pitch in the back of your hand, and some players would be out for a week or so. It seemed like the mark on my hand went away like by the fifth inning. So I was blessed with a good set of genes, and my dad was on the team. So my dad was all about being a gamer, all about being there every day for your teammates and meet the challenge of today. And so with my dad sitting there, watching my every move, I didn't think I could come out of the game and disappoint good old dad. So maybe the combination of those factors, having your dad there, really established, me as an everyday player.
You say it's about the managers, and Earl Weaver writes your name in for the strong majority at the beginning, and then it was off and running from there. But at what point do you remember the streak becoming like a thing? Everybody would, managers would come to you, ask if you want an off day, but at a certain point, was it a year in? Was it 5 years in that the streak became a real thing that everybody knew about?
Yeah, I think it wasn't until it was about 1,000 games or so. I know that it closed in on the National League record, and that people were talking about it as a streak. There were 5 straight years during that time frame that I didn't miss an inning, and I will tell you the logic behind that. When you're in a blowout game and you're not getting your swing down right, it was always an opportunity for me to stay in the game and try something new that might work for tomorrow. And if you were swinging the bat really well, you didn't want to come out. You just wanted to keep getting your timing and kind of keep playing that out. So that was my reasons for staying in all that time. And again, the managers, when they sat down in their office making out the lineup to say who could help you win that particular day, I was always very thankful to be chosen. And I was getting better, and I was younger at that time frame. But I would imagine around 1,200 games or somewhere around there, the streak started to change a little bit, because when I went into a slump, people would say that I should take a day off, I should get out of the lineup. When we went through rebuilding processes, so I should give somebody else a chance and do all those things. But I wanted to keep my same attitude that I had right from the very beginning, and I always thought that was the right way to play. Dad used to always say, you can't replay yesterday's game, although you can learn from it, and you can't play tomorrow's game before it gets here, so you might as well play this one. And that was my simple approach for all those years.
When you got up to that number, 1,000, 1,200 in that range, when it really became a thing, were there any days where you did not feel like playing, but you just kept going because of the streak?
Well, I never did it just because of the streak. But there were days when it would have been easy to come out.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. We played 15 or 16 innings in Boston. We lost a really tough game, and we had to turn it around really fast because it was the Boston Marathon was in town, and we had to play an 11 o'clock game. And by the way, Roger Clemens was starting that game. And I think I was 0 for 22 going into that game. So I started to think with all the things add up, I went, it would be really good to let somebody else kind of meet this challenge. And so at those kind of low moments, you kind of started to think, but then you force yourself to go out and say, okay, look, in order to beat Roger, you got to put your best lineup out in the field. I thought I was part of the best lineup on the field. And in that particular day, I think I got 2 hits off of Raj, drove in the game-winning run, and we beat him. And so when you do something like that, the next time that you feel like you could use a blow, or you might not be 100%, or you're not swinging the bat too well, it's easy to remember those things that push forward.
Do you remember the day that you past Lou Gehrig and it became official. Do you remember that day?
September 6th, 1995. Yes. I was hoping that whole year that we would stay in the playoffs. We'd be good enough, and it wouldn't be a focus on, the consecutive game
Yeah.
streak, that it would just be an important series. And as we got closer to it, we kind of fell back. But the California Angels, were in the hunt for the pennant that year. And it was always important for me as we celebrated that, which I can understand in hindsight looking back. People have their feelings and they relate to the streak in many ways because they have their own streaks. That they go to work, they don't miss school. It's important to them to show up, and I understand the importance of that. But I wanted to be able to play well, and I wanted our team to really play well. So that would be the focus instead of
Yeah.
in me for that September 5th, September 6th. And looking back, we swept the California Angels on 21-29, 21-30, and 21-31. I had a home run in each one of those games, and we pitched and played really well, and we won. So I was particularly proud of that because, in order to play all those games in a row, you have to be deserving to be in the lineup. And I always looked at myself as someone that would be there and could be counted on your teammates each and every day. But it was still important for you to play well and win, not just celebrate the game streak.